As we move past the age of 60, the body begins to change in ways that are quiet but powerful. One of the most overlooked changes is how differently we absorb and use nutrients. You might be eating the same foods you've eaten for years, yet your body is no longer extracting the same level of vitamins, minerals, and proteins from those meals. This matters deeply for your hair because hair is not essential for survival. So when nutrients are limited, the body wisely sends them to vital organs first: the heart, brain, and immune system. Hair follicles are pushed to the back of the line. Over time, they become weaker, thinner, and less active. Protein is one of the most important building blocks for hair, yet many adults over 60 do not get enough high-quality protein early in the day. Hair is primarily made of keratin, a structural protein that gives strands their strength and resilience. When protein intake is low or poorly absorbed, the body simply cannot maintain thick, healthy hair growth cycles. Instead, more hairs shift into the shedding phase, and fewer remain in the growth phase. This can show up as thinning at the crown, a widening part, or hair that breaks more easily. It's not just cosmetic, it's a biological signal that the body needs more support. Iron is another key nutrient that often drops with age. Even mild iron deficiency can reduce the amount of oxygen carried in the blood. Hair follicles are highly active structures that require a steady oxygen supply to produce new strands. When oxygen delivery is compromised, follicles can shrink and produce finer, weaker hairs. Many people don't realize that feeling more tired than usual and noticing increased hair shedding can sometimes be connected through low iron levels. Zinc also plays a crucial role because it supports tissue repair and helps regulate hormones that influence hair growth. Without enough zinc, follicles may struggle to recover from normal daily stress and inflammation. Healthy fats are just as important. Omega-3 fatty acids help keep cell membranes flexible and support circulation to the scalp. They also help calm inflammation, which is a hidden contributor to hair thinning. Chronic low-grade inflammation becomes more common with age and can quietly interfere with the hair growth cycle. When the body lacks anti-inflammatory nutrients, follicles may spend less time in the active growth phase and more time resting or shedding. This creates the feeling that hair is no longer growing the way it used to, when in reality, the internal environment has changed. Digestive efficiency is another piece of the puzzle. With age, stomach acid levels can decrease, and enzyme production may slow. This makes it harder to break down and absorb nutrients from food, especially protein, iron, and certain B vitamins that are essential for hair health. Even a balanced diet may not deliver full benefits if digestion is compromised. Supporting digestion through mindful eating, adequate hydration, and nutrient-dense foods becomes increasingly important for maintaining strong hair. When you see thinning hair after 60, it's not simply a surface issue. It can be one of the body's early messages that nourishment needs attention. By improving the quality, variety, and absorption of key nutrients, you are not only supporting your hair, but also strengthening energy levels, immune resilience, and overall vitality from the inside out. Chronic stress has a much deeper effect on the body than most people realize, and one of the places it quietly shows up is in your hair. After 60, the body becomes more sensitive to long-term emotional and physical stress, even if you've been handling everything your whole life. Stress is not just a feeling in the mind, it is a full-body biological state. When the brain perceives pressure, worry, loneliness, or unresolved emotional pain, it signals the adrenal glands to release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are helpful in short bursts, but when they stay elevated for months or years, they begin to disrupt normal repair processes, including healthy hair growth. Hair follicles are tiny organs with a high metabolic demand. They require a steady supply of oxygen, nutrients, and hormonal balance to stay in the active growth phase. Chronic stress interferes with all three. Elevated cortisol can constrict blood vessels, reducing circulation to the scalp. When blood flow is limited, fewer nutrients and less oxygen reach the follicles. Over time, follicles may shrink, produce thinner strands, and shift prematurely into the shedding phase. You might notice more hair on your pillow, in the shower drain, or in your brush, without realizing that your nervous system has been in survival mode for far too long. Stress also increases inflammation throughout the body. This type of low-grade, ongoing inflammation can disrupt the delicate environment hair follicles need to thrive. Inflammatory chemicals can signal follicles to shut down early, shortening the natural growth cycle of hair. Instead of growing for years before shedding, strands may fall out sooner and grow back weaker. This doesn't just affect appearance, it reflects a body that is spending more energy on defense than on regeneration. Hormones are another key piece. Chronic stress can throw off the balance of hormones that influence hair growth, including thyroid hormones and sex hormones. Even small shifts can change how long hair stays in the growth phase versus the resting phase. For women, stress can intensify hormonal changes already happening after menopause. For men, it can amplify the effects of hormones that contribute to thinning. The result is often gradual, diffuse hair loss that feels frustrating and confusing because it doesn't seem tied to a single event. Beyond biology, stress changes behavior in ways that further affect hair health. When people feel overwhelmed, they may sleep poorly, skip balanced meals, or rely on sugary and processed foods for comfort. Poor sleep alone can keep cortisol levels elevated and reduce the body's ability to repair tissues overnight. Nutritional gaps created by stress eating or loss of appetite deprive follicles of the building blocks they need. It becomes a cycle. Stress affects the body shows symptoms like hair thinning, and those changes create even more worry. Emotional stress that is never expressed can be especially impactful. Many people over 60 grew up in environments where they had to be strong, responsible, and self-sacrificing. Feelings like anger, grief, or fear may have been pushed down for decades. The body, however, keeps the score. Unprocessed emotions can keep the nervous system subtly activated, as if danger is always just around the corner. In that state, the body prioritizes immediate survival over long-term growth, and hair is one of the first things to be affected. The encouraging part is that when stress is reduced and the nervous system begins to feel safer, the body can shift back toward repair. Circulation improves, inflammation calms, and hormones move closer to balance. Hair follicles that were dormant or weakened may regain strength over time when the internal environment becomes more supportive and less driven by constant stress signals. The beautiful thing about the human body is that it is always trying to repair, rebuild, and renew itself when given the right tools. After 60, that process may be slower than it once was, but it is far from finished. Hair follicles, like all living tissues, respond to the environment you create inside your body every single day. One of the most powerful ways to influence that environment is through what you choose to eat first thing in the morning. Breakfast sets the tone for blood sugar balance, hormone signaling, inflammation levels, and nutrient availability for the rest of the day. When that first meal is rich in the nutrients hair follicles depend on, you create conditions that support stronger, healthier growth from within. Protein is the foundation. Hair strands are built from keratin, which requires a steady supply of amino acids. A breakfast that includes eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a high-quality plant protein smoothie gives your body the raw materials it needs to maintain and rebuild hair structure. When protein intake is consistent, more follicles can stay in the active growth phase instead of prematurely entering the shedding phase. Over time, this can mean thicker feeling hair and less breakage. Protein in the morning also helps stabilize blood sugar, preventing the spikes and crashes that increase stress hormones and inflammation, both of which can disrupt hair growth. Healthy fats play an equally important role. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and fatty fish, help nourish the scalp and support circulation. These fats become part of cell membranes, keeping them flexible and better able to transport nutrients in and waste products out. They also help calm inflammatory processes that can quietly damage follicles over time. Adding a spoonful of ground flaxseed to oatmeal or a handful of walnuts to yogurt is a simple step that supports not just hair, but heart and brain health as well. Minerals and antioxidants are the next key piece. Zinc, iron, selenium, and magnesium all contribute to healthy follicle function and tissue repair. Pumpkin seeds, nuts, leafy greens blended into smoothies, and berries are excellent morning additions that deliver these nutrients naturally. Berries in particular are rich in antioxidants like vitamin C, which helps protect follicles from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress increases with age and can weaken the cells responsible for producing strong hair fibers. By regularly including colorful plant foods at breakfast, you give your body extra tools to defend and repair itself. Hydration is often overlooked but essential. Hair follicles need proper hydration to function well, and dehydration can make hair feel dry and brittle. Starting the day with water, herbal tea, or green tea supports circulation and helps nutrients travel efficiently through the bloodstream. Green tea also contains plant compounds that may support scalp health and reduce inflammation. Just as important as what you eat is the state your body is in when you eat. If breakfast is rushed, eaten while anxious, or combined with stressful news or phone scrolling, the nervous system stays in a fight or flight state. In that state, digestion is less efficient and fewer nutrients are absorbed. Taking even a few slow, deep breaths before eating can shift the body toward a calmer, parasympathetic state where digestion and repair are prioritized. This simple practice helps your body actually use the nutrients you're providing. When these habits become consistent, they do more than support hair. They help balance blood sugar, reduce systemic inflammation, stabilize energy, and support hormonal harmony. Hair growth then becomes a visible reflection of deeper internal balance. Each morning meal becomes an opportunity to send your body a clear message that it is safe, supported, and ready to grow stronger.